All right, everyone, and welcome back into the cave here as we continue to follow our Expos on their quest for a World Series championship. We are completely through 1998, and we're right back in here in 1999. We have cleared the first 2 months of the season, and the team is through 60 games. We currently sit 11 and a half games behind the Atlanta Braves for first place in the National League East. Due to some technical difficulties last evening, we actually ended up with 2 additional losses. I actually recorded last night, and it didn't go through. So we are here today doing a little early episode with the Expos here inside the cave. I am the Islander fanatic, and I will be your guide through the 1999 season in our upside-down universe that is MLB The Show 25. So if you are joining us this afternoon, welcome in. I know most of my friends on the West Coast are probably at work and don't have the time to jump in and say anything. But if you do pop in and have the time, feel free to say anything it is you'd like. I'd like to have some help with commentary as we do roll through the episode. Our topic today is going to be 80s movies. So along with the baseball, of course. But if you have an 80s movie, a favorite 80s movie, maybe a 80s movie that you thought was funny or that you think could be remade even, feel free to throw it in the comments this afternoon. So in today's episode, we are going to roll through with the Expos up until we get to the All-Star break. So we're going to kind of roll through this one pretty quick. Seeing as how I already did this last night and now have to redo it again today. But super excited about this team. And if we haven't spoken about this, or if you haven't seen the other episodes, we have added a few key pieces to the roster. We got Troy O'Leary in a trade with the Red Sox. We have Ken Griffey Jr., who we picked up in free agency. Terry Mulholland's in the bullpen. We got Sterling Hitchcock as our second pitcher on the staff. And, of course, Pudge Rodriguez, who has come up huge. And we can't forget Mark Grace. Mark Grace, who is our leading hitter and is challenging for a batting title here in 1999. So that's been a key piece to our Expos franchise as we continue to move forward. So we're going to get this show on the road here in just about 2 minutes. I'm going to step away, and we'll get the game going here in just about 2 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Once again, if you're watching, I'm going to put you through the intro real quick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's go ahead and get this show We're going to go through the intro again really quick. My apologies. I kind of had some sound in the background there. But we want to welcome you into the cave as we continue to follow our Montreal Expos on their quest to a World Series championship. We started in 1998 with quite possibly the worst roster I've ever seen on this game. And we are building a squad to get ourselves to the World Series. First things first, though, we got to get a playoff appearance under our belt, right? We have to get a playoff appearance under our belt. And hopefully we can do that with this squad that we've put together here in the 1999 season. Let's take a look at our current lineup, our current depth chart. You can see at catcher, we picked up Ivan Rodriguez in free agency. We got Mark Grace at first base in free agency. We got Mark Grudzielanek, he's a returning Expo from 1998. Cabrera returns from 1998. We added Charlie Hayes at third base. One of my favorites. He played third base for the Yankees in the World Series. So when I saw he was a free agent, I figured we should add him. Let's go to left field. We got Troy O'Leary, who we picked up in a trade right at the beginning of free agency from the Bo Sox. We have Ken Griffey Jr., who was our key free agent pickup. He's playing center field. And out in right field, we've got Vlad Guerrero. In the bullpen, you can see we've got Ugueth still holding it down as our closer. But looking at the numbers on the right side of each name, that's where we struggle. Okay. So we are low when it comes to our bullpen. Our starting pitching staff is starting to grow. We've got Dustin Hermanson. We added Sterling Hitchcock. We've got Javier Vasquez, Trey Moore, who came into his own in 1998, and Mike Thurman will be rounding out our rotation here as we continue on through the season. If you look here at the bottom left, you can see we're sixth overall when it comes to a roster in the league. So that is a leap from 1998 when we started this. We're 13th in speed. That's a little bit of a drop. We're third in contact, 9th in power, 11th in pitching, and first overall in defense. So let's see if we can get something done with this team. Of course, we're currently in second place. We're sitting behind the Braves, 11 and a half games back, and we know how the Braves were in the 90s. They were killer. Their pitching staff was amazing. They always had some bats. So we'll see what we can get done here in the 1999 season. So let's take a look at our calendar and what we're going to do here in the episode. Again, we're going to try to make this a quick one. Okay, probably go about maybe an hour till about 2:30 West Coast, 5:30 East Coast. If you jump in, again, our topic today, other than Montreal Expos or baseball or sports, the question of the day is your favorite 80s movie. So go ahead and put that up on the board. We can talk about that. And again, there's no judging. You can pick any genre, a comedy, drama, teen movie. What doesn't really matter. And then as we get to the end of the episode, I'll go ahead and talk about my favorite. And if you know me, you can take a couple of guesses. You can throw that up on the board too. Okay, so we start the episode here and just taking a look at the calendar, of course, from left to right. Okay, we've got San Francisco for 3 games at home. Then we head out on the road. We're taking on the San Diego Padres for 3. We'll have the Cincinnati Reds, who won the National League last year, for 3. Arizona at home, Florida at home, Atlanta on the road for 3. That's going to be a key series for our Montreal Expos, seeing as how Atlanta's in first place. But if we've learned anything from our 1998 team, we know that our struggles really come against the teams with the lower records, the worse records than us. So Arizona and Florida, I think, are going to be key series with this for this team in the month of June. Then we have Florida for 4 consecutive games. We head back home. We'll take on the Mets, and then we'll kind of creep into July with the Milwaukee series. And if we have time, we might even just jump ahead to the All-Star break. So that kind of lays out what we're going to do here in the episode. I'm going to go ahead and quick sim most of these. What we're going to do is we're going to do Sunday baseball for this episode. So that way we get to see basically every team with the exception of maybe Florida in the episode. So we're going to do Sunday baseball. We'll have the Padres. We'll do the management for the Padres game, the Diamondbacks Sunday, the Atlanta Braves Sunday, and, of course, the final game of the New York Mets series. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our lineup so you can be familiar with who we have. Okay, so of course we are a National League squad, so we play mostly teams with no DH, okay? Because this is 1999, we're keeping it as real as possible. There's no designated hitter in our league. The only new rule that you'll see if we jump into a game is the pickoff rule. So you can only throw over twice, and then whatever the rule is after that. So here's a lineup for the Expos in this one. We've got Grudzy. I'm sorry, for the Expos moving forward, unless we need to make a change. We've got Grudzy at second base. We'll have Cabrera at short. Mark Grace will bat third and play first base. You see his batting average currently 346, 9 dingers and 26 ribs. Fourth, fifth, and sixth place. Look at the power in here. We got Griffey Jr., Vlad Guerrero, and Troy O'Leary. And then, of course, 7, 8, 9, we've got Charlie Hayes, Pudge Rodriguez, and whoever the pitcher is. We take a look at our our batting lineup against left-handed pitching. We'll have Rondell White, Grudzy at second base. Mark Grace will play first and bat third. Again, that center of the lineup is pretty much the same with the exception of Charlie Hayes. He jumps into the sixth spot when we take on left-handed pitching. Cabrera will bat seventh, Pudge will bat eighth, and Dustin Hermanson, or the pitcher, will bat ninth. Our pitching staff, not looking too bad. Okay, we take a look at the rotation. Hermanson is our ace. He's 6-3 with a 3.41 ERA. Sterling Hitchcock, well, we picked him up in free agency. He's had his struggles so far. He's 4-4, 79 Ks and a 2.62 ERA. Javi Vasquez will be in the third spot, 4-5. He is an Expo from last year. So that's kind of why we held on to him. Trey Moore has been pretty much the ace of our staff, but pitching in either the fourth or fifth slot. He's 5-2 with a 2.93 ERA and having another all-star year. And Mike Thurman rounds out the rotation, pitching in the fifth spot, 3-3, 4.50 ERA. Okay, and the one other thing we definitely want to make sure we take a look at is our friend Hamilton Porter. He is currently in A ball, but we want him to grow a little bit. If you caught last week's episode, you know we added Hamilton Porter. And if you know the reference, good for you. Feel free to put it up on the screen. But if you know the reference and where that name comes from, great. I tried to design him as close as possible to the inspiration for the character. So it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and bump him into Double A so he gets a little bit of a chance to grow. We'll send Francisco Morales, who is a D potential. Goodbye, Francisco. You're going down to Class A. So we'll check on Hamilton Porter as we roll through. All right. Okay, so we are heading into our first game. Again, we're going to quick sim, and then we'll actually... hey, I got one person watching me at like 1:30 in the afternoon. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So we've got Goonies, Indiana Jones, and Ferris Bueller. Yeah, I like all three of those. I definitely like all three of those. Now, question is, though, which Indiana Jones, right? I mean, are we talking Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Or are we talking Temple of Doom? That's a question. Big question. I like Temple of Doom. I think it's because it's the first one I ever saw. Plus, I had the video game. So, okay, so we've got San Francisco in the first three games. We're taking on Brett Tomko here. And we're going to get the win. And I'm going to simulate quickly through this. I don't really care about the minor leagues. So we win our first game. So the goal here, I think, for the month of June, I think we're going to try to get this team to about 6 games over 500. So we need some wins for sure. Dustin Hermanson is on the hill in game 2 of the series against the Giants, and we take a loss. Javi Vasquez in game 3, and we get a loss. So we lose 2 out of 3 to the Giants. That is definitely not good. Now, when I was playing last night, and even though I had some technical difficulties when I was trying to do this, I noticed that Barry Bonds wasn't on the Giants. So I had to go in and actually create him. And I didn't make him a monster. I made him a good player. So we head into game number 1 with the Padres, and we have a 2-game losing streak going. Trey Moore's on the hill. He's our kind of ace, right? Our I don't know what you call it, dark horse kind of ace. And Francisco Morales, who we just sent to, I thought I put him down in, anyway, we're going to auto that. And we lose our first game against the Padres. And look at the Padres record. They're actually garbage in 1999. I don't know if that was accurate, but we lose the first game in that one. We win the second one. So here's where it gets a little dicey. I do have to do our scouting, something I really don't want to do. But we have to do it. Nah, we don't. You know what? We're going to pass on that. We'll let the guys do their jobs, Mike. You don't have to do everything. Okay, so we get the win in game 2, which means we get to go in and actually watch here in the Sunday game. We're going to go to the Sunday game. So the other movies that were mentioned there, of course, oh my Lord. We're replacing Ferris Bueller's Day Off with Over the Top. Wow. That's quite possibly one of Stallone's best 80s movies. Over the Top. And look, I think everybody actually arm wrestled when they were in school just because they saw that movie. Wow, I think I know who changed it. For sure. So, okay, and that might have just been to get a laugh out of the fanatic, for sure. So, Over the Top, if you're not familiar, so obviously Rocky. I call him Rocky. The guy has an actual name. Sylvester Stallone, we know him as Rocky, right? But in this true classic, Sylvester Stallone steps in as a truck driver / arm wrestler. And he's like driving his kid across the country or doing whatever they're doing. Total classic. If you've never seen it before, it's a watch. It's a watch. Robert Loggia is in it. The kid, I don't even know the actor's name. How would I? But the one that sticks out to me is the dude who he arm wrestles at the end. I think his name is like Bull Hurley. And I always thought that maybe like the character in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was based on that dude, but that's just me. Okay, so in this one, we've got Sterling Hitchcock on the hill for the Expos, and here's our lineup. We'll have Vladdy. Why is Vladdy batting first? What kind of garbage is that? Okay, so Vladdy, I'm sorry, but we have to move you because you cannot bat first. I kind of like Cabrera batting first, so we're going to move him to lead off. We'll put Grudzy second. Grace will bat third. Griffey Jr. Vladdy, you're going to bat fifth. Troy O'Leary, let's put you sixth. Hayes, Pudge, and Sterling. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll through. All right, so Matt Clements on the hill here in the Sunday game. We're trying to take the series against the Padres. Cabrera grounds out. Grudzy's going to ground out. Mark Grace is going to strike out. So Frankie Rivera, not sure if he was an actual Padre. We'll have to check. Gary Matthews hits a solo home run, so it's 1-0 Pods. Reed grounds out. Ruben Rivera. I think he might have been a trade with the Yankees. I'm not 100% sure. Ruben Rivera strikes out. Okay, so we got Ken Griffey Jr. in inning number 2. He grounds out. Vladdy doubles. So it's a good thing we put him in that position. He was going to lead off. Troy O'Leary walks. So we've got first and second for Charlie Hayes. He hits into a fielder's choice. And here comes Pudge with 2 outs. And he grounds out. Tim Marshall at the plate for the Padres. Solo jack, because why the hell not? Here comes Mike Benjamin. He reaches on an error. Arias flies out. Mandy Romero flies out. So they still have a runner on because the Fanatic kind of fell asleep here. And Clement's going to hit a single. Frankie Rivera flies out. Okay, so Sterling Hitchcock is going to lead off for the Expos. He's at home. Well, at home. He's back in San Diego for his first game. And he grounds out. Cabrera walks. Let's have him steal. He steals second. Beautiful. Grudzy strikes out. We need a run here, somebody. Grace is going to walk. So we got first and second for Ken Griffey Jr. Can you be my hero? No, he hits into a fielder's choice. So we spent buku bucks in the offseason to get Ken Griffey Jr., and he really has not delivered the way we'd like him to. But what he has done is boost up the other players on the team. So Ken Griffey Jr. isn't playing the best, but we've got a lot out of Troy O'Leary. We've got more out of Vlad, so hopefully that continues. Gary Matthews grounds out. Reed singles. Rivera hits into a double play. So we're through 3 innings now. Matt Clement is pitching a gem for the Padres. Vlad Guerrero is going to lead off here in the top of the 4th. I have got two people watching me right now. Welcome in, folks. Welcome in. Again, I tried to do this last night and found out that I had some sort of an issue with the old PlayStation. So I rode through the whole thing, sat here for 2 hours basically talking to myself, and then was like, oh no, this isn't good. So I go talk to the missus and I said, it's not working. It didn't work. So I actually got to see kind of what happens, but of course now I'm resending it, so it's going to be totally different. Now, if we had stayed in that world, we did pretty good in the month of June. So hopefully we can do that here. Vlad's going to lead off.
Ball 4, take your base.
He's going to walk. O'Leary strikes out. So we're going to, now, do we steal with Vlad? No, I think we leave it. Hayes is going to single. Pudge is going to strike out. And Sterling Hitchcock is going to walk. So we got the bases juiced with 2 outs for one of the hottest hitters on the Expos, Orlando Cabrera. Give me something. And he strikes out. For Christ's sake, dude. Okay, Sterling Hitchcock back on the hill. He strikes out Tim Marshall. He gets Mike Benjamin to ground out.
First base.
And he hits George Arias. Mandy Romero flies out. So I'm not recognizing any of these Padre names. And I know there's one of my viewers out there that I went to quite a few Padres games with in the late 90s and early 2000s. So if you recognize any of these names, feel free to let me know. I've got Matt Clement. Yeah, I think he was a Cub. I think he did pitch for the Padres, but I'm not really sure. Okay. See, I start breathing heavy because I tire myself out. Grudzy is going to ground out. Grace grounds out. Ken Griffey Jr., be my hero. He flies out. So we're in the bottom of the 5th. We have 2 hits in this game. Clement flies out. Rivera grounds out. Gary Matthews, who already homered once, singles. Jeff Reed strikes out. Okay, so we're through 5 innings now. We got Vlad at the plate. We've got pretty good offense coming up. We got Vlad, we got O'Leary, we got Hayes in this inning. Let's see if we can get something started here. Vlad grounds out. O'Leary grounds out. Hayes grounds out. So we're being shut out through 6. I'm telling you, this Clement character, we might have to sign him for our team. Sterling Hitchcock.
Take your base, ball 4.
Walks Rivera. Gives up a single to Marshall. Gets Benjamin in a fielder's choice. Arias in a fielder's choice. Romero flies out. Okay, so we're through 6. All right, so Clement, Padres, Marlins, Cubs, and Sox. So, yeah, he made his way around, right? Definitely. But I'm talking about these other names. Some of these other names, I don't even know who they are. I mean, the only one I really remember going and seeing was like maybe T. Gwynn. I think Ricky Henderson might have played for the Padres around that time, too. All right, Clement. Back. Oh, and they switched. They're going to bring in Steve Reed, and this is where we open up a can of whoop-ass, right? Whenever they bring in a bullpen, that's when the Expos go off. And we strike out with our first batter. Sterling, I think Sterling has to come out. Yeah, we're going to pinch hit for Sterling, and we're going to save Bobby Hens until later on because we know what he can do in a pinch hit situation. I think we're going to bring in, we'll go with Fulmer. So Fulmer is going to go against Reed, and he grounds out. What a waste. Orlando Cabrera grounds out. So we got to get Fulmer out of there. We don't want him to pitch. Okay, here's where it gets dicey, folks, because look at the overalls on our bullpen. Okay, I think my overall would be better than Rick DeHart, but we've got a righty, we've got switch, lefty. So I think we want to put in a righty. So we're going to go with Bennett. Shane Bennett's going to come in. They pinch hit Kilvio Veras. This guy I recognize. I recognize that name for sure. And, of course, he doubles on us. Frankie Rivera grounds out. Let's walk Matthews.
Ball 4, take your base.
And we'll pitch to Jeff Reed. He gets a fielder's choice. And Ruben Rivera singles. Okay. Tim Marshall, fielder's choice. All right, beautiful. So we give up a run. We're down 3-0 in San Diego. Grudzy.
Now pitching for the Padres, number 23,
Chuck McCoy. It botches their name so bad, right? It's like my grandmother trying to talk to one of the three of us. Can't get the name right. They know, you know who they're talking to because they're pointing at you, but they're going through every one of their grandchildren as they're pointing at you, and then finally they end up with the hey you, right? The hey you. All right, Grudzy walks. So here we go. Maybe we got to start to the inning. Grace pops out. Griffey singles. So we got first and second. Top of the eighth, Vladdy strikes out, and Troy O'Leary is going to double in two. So Troy O'Leary comes up with a big one. It's 3-2 Padres. Charlie Hayes strikes out. Okay. Mike Benjamin leading off for the Padres. Bennett's going to stay out. He gets the ground out. Arias grounds out. Mandy Romero with the strikeout. Okay, so it's all up to Pudge. And we're going to have, I think we're going to see Bobby Hens come in. He'll get a pinch hit here for the pitcher. Pudge strikes out. Bobby Hens, let's see. Let's see if he can come up big. Bob Henley, Montreal Expos Hall of Famer. Singles. That's what he does, man. That's what he does for this team. Orlando Cabrera flies out. Grudzy strikes out. Okay, so we lose to the lowly Padres in this one. Matt Clement is a player of the game because he pitched like a damn Cy Young Award winner in this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's up next. We've got 3 with the Cincinnati Reds. And last year, the Cincinnati Reds went to the World Series and got swept by the New York Yankees, who are absolutely killers in this universe. And we're taking them on. We got 3 games with the Reds. We've got Hermanson on the hill in Game 1. We'll have Vasquez on the hill in Game 2. And Trey Moore will round it out in Game 3. Let's see what we can do. Game 1, we get a 8-3 loss. Game 2, we get a 4-2 loss. And Game 3, we get a 3-0 win. So Trey Moore picks up his 6th win of the season, and we avoid the sweep to the Cincinnati Reds. Okay, so we're heading into the weekend. Of course, we'll get the Sunday game against the Diamondbacks. And as I mentioned, if you've been paying attention in previous episodes, this team 100% struggles against teams with bad records. I almost said something else, but bad records. And you see the Diamondbacks here. They're 22-46. 22-46. We're 35-34. So if we can get 2 wins here, we just gotta float at or above 500. That's going to be the key for this squad here. Okay, so kind of touching back on the topic. As you know, I'm sitting here, I'm playing the game, but I'm also thinking about the topic on the table. And the topic on the table was 80s movies, right? And we heard Indiana Jones. All right, we talked about the difference between the two, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom. Those are kind of 80s Indiana Jones movies. I don't know, the third one might have come out in the 80s too. I know I saw that one in the theater as well. But the one that I saw on there that is absolutely, I think maybe hands down, like your childhood 80s movie has to be The Goonies, right? And if you're watching this later on, you're not watching me live, and you want to put some comments in there about The Goonies, you text me about The Goonies. I think anyone who's an 80s kid remembers The Goonies, right? And we all played a game. You probably played a game in your yard where you were the Goonies, or you created, I don't know, games with you, whatever, where you were the Goonies. I played my first video game, the very first video game that I remember. I sat in front of a Commodore 64, and that's aging me, okay? And I've got a friend back on the East Coast. If he watches any of my stuff, he'll know what I'm talking about. I sat in front of the Commodore 64, and I played the Goonies video game. All right? And I think I'm probably going to do that on my channel one day because I found a website where we can play a lot of those old games. And that game was, it seemed impossible when you're 7 and 8 years old. So I would really, really be interested to see what it was like playing that game now. It was basically left, right, hit the button, it jumps, and you had to get through like, I don't know, 8 different panels or 8 different screens to get to One-Eye Willie's pirate ship. And hopefully I didn't just spoil that movie for whoever hasn't seen it. But I assume if you're watching my channel, you've probably seen the Goonies. Now, question is, see, and we get to feed off of the 80s question, who's your Goonies character? Who is your Goonies character, right? Who's your favorite character in that movie? And my favorite character in the Goonies, and not because of his name, but has to be Mikey because he's the true leader, right? I think Mikey kind of made the movie. Now, a lot of people say, maybe Sloth, but I don't know. I kind of like Sloth, but he's really not in the movie that much. All right, getting back to this now. We've got a Friday game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mike Thurman's on the hill against Brad Penny, and we get the win. So these are key. These are wins that we need, big wins that we need. So that's huge. We get a loss. We take a loss in game 2. We're letting the system do the scouting. We're not going to worry about scouting. We're going to just roll the dice when it comes to the draft. Dustin Hermanson on the Sunday game. We're going to jump into that one, of course. So let's see what happens in the Sunday game. And again, if we make it to, oh yes, Data with the slick shoes. Viewer says Data with the slick shoes. I like that one, right? Data's good. Data's good. No one ever says that they really like Andy or the blonde girl. I don't even know the blonde girl's name, right? I think most people, if you heard me or you knew me, you'd probably think that my favorite character is Mouth. But no, no. I was more of a Mikey kind of kid when I was little. I didn't talk like I do now. I was kind of a shy. No, okay, maybe I wasn't. But Mouth was a little out there, right? I got family members who are more like Mouth. But that's actually... I have a good friend, coworker from where I am now, and I used to walk in the morning, and that's how I knew he was working, because he'd be like, "Hey, yo, Mikey, you want a glass of water?" But anyway, okay. So I like that one though, Data for sure. And I don't know if anyone's seen, but they are coming out with another one. They're working on I don't know if it's going to be a reboot. I don't want a reboot, and I definitely don't want a remake. But if they bring the kids back as adults, oh, that would be sick. I don't want to. Okay, we'll replace them. I'm not paying attention. I'm just doing whatever. Let's start. Okay. All right, so here we are. It's a Sunday night game, and we're taking on the Diamondbacks at home at Olympic Stadium. We got Dustin Hermanson on the hill for the Expos. He's 7-5, 3.42 ERA. And we've got Ed Haney leading off for the Diamondbacks. If you're joining me here on an early afternoon episode, go ahead and throw a comment down there. I'd love to know you're here. For those of you who've been talking to me already, I know you're here, but I see there might be somebody else with us. So feel free to throw something in there. Again, topic of the day, 80s movies. Throw it on the board. Okay, Dustin Hermanson gets Haney, gets DeLuch, and he gets White. So we're through the first inning. Vladdy's going to lead off. Why do they keep putting Vladdy at leadoff? We're firing the manager. Well, that's why, because he singles. Beautiful. Grudzy, fielder's choice. Grace doubles and knocks in Vlad. So we take a 1-0 lead early in this one. Strikeout Griffey. Ground out O'Leary. So again, these are important games for us. We need to beat these bad teams. Tony Bautista, solo jack, because of course. How about Phil Nevin? Phil Nevin. And I feel like at some point in my career, I may have met this guy in person, but I'm not sure. I think I did. Phil Nevin, singles. Miller, singles. We got first and second now for Hank. Don't call me Harry Potter. He pops out. Kareem Garcia pops out. And here's Peter Mueller. Flies out. Okay, so it's a 1-1 game. We gave up a home run, I think. I didn't even pay attention. Mueller pitching to Hayes.
Take your base, ball 4.
Hayes is going to walk. Cabrera single. So we got first and second. Nobody out for Pudge. He hits into a fielder's choice. That moves Hayes over to third. And Hermanson gets himself some help. He doubles in 2. How about the pitcher coming up big? Vladdy's going to ground out. Grudzy is going to ground out. Okay, so we got Dustin Hermanson still on the hill. We're up 3-1 after 2. Single for Haney. Deluche with the sack bunt moves him over. Devon White flies out. Batista grounds out. So good. We got out of that inning. Mark Grace to lead off here in the bottom of the third. Ground out. Griffey Jr. ground out. O'Leary
3.
strikeout. Okay. Phil Nevin back at the plate. Ground out. Miller ground out. Harry. Hank Potter. Error. Reaches on an error. Kareem Garcia
Ball 4. Take your
walks. Oh, don't let the error burn us. Peter Mueller
3.
strikes out. Okay, so thank God for having to pitch to the pitcher. That's why we play in the National League, folks. That's why we play in the National League. No DH in 1999. Charlie Hayes grounds out. Cabrera lines out. And Pudge Rodriguez
Ball 4. Take your base.
walks. Hermanson with a chance again, and he grounds out. So we're through 4. Hermanson still has some juice, so we're going to leave him in there. Ed Haney singles. David Deluche double play. Devon White singles. Tony Batista ground out. Okay, here comes Vladdy. Vladdy, let's see if we can do something. Flies out. Grudzy, ground out. Grace, ground out. 0 for 3 in that inning. 0 for 3. Phil Nevin, singles. Damian Miller, singles. Hank, don't call. All right, yeah, you don't got to say it again. You don't got to say it again, Mike.
3.
Strikeout. Kareem Garcia, fly out. Peter Mueller. And we got Steven Villarreal, who's going to come in for a pinch hitting opportunity, and he strikes out. Ken Griffey Jr. to lead off, bottom of the 6th. Fly out. O'Leary, ground out. Hayes, ground out. Okay, so I don't know if anyone's noticing this, but Ken Griffey Jr. is not good. He has not been good. I'm waiting for all these home runs, but we're not getting anything out of him. Ed Haney grounds out. Deluche is going to double. We're going to walk Devon White to set up the double play. And I think Tony Batista could give us a double play. No, we strike him out instead. Here's Phil Nevin. And we don't get burned by Phil Nevin, not this time. Ben Ford is on the bump now for the Diamondbacks. Cabrera is at the plate here in the bottom of the 7th. There's a fly out. Rodriguez single. Let's go ahead and pinch hit for Hermanson because we're going to take him out. We're going to go with Mike Mordecai. Or Mike Murdoch, whatever the game wants to call him, but I'm pretty sure his name is Mordecai. So let's go ahead and take him out. We don't want him on the mound. We're going to put in Mulholland. He'll pitch to, he's our setup guy this year, basically. He gets the ground out. He gets the ground out, and Kareem Garcia grounds out. So good job from Mulholland. We're going to get Ugeth Urbina in here to try to close it out in the top of the 9th. Vladdy at the plate.
Ball 4. Take
He
your base.
walks. He then steals second. Grudzy bunts him over, so there's a small ball from the Expos. Going to try and get ourselves a little insurance.
3.
And come on, Griffey, do something here. He singles a run in. Beautiful. Good job. So that's what we got him for. Millions and millions of dollars for a single. Okay, O'Leary, fielder's choice. So we're going to take Mulholland out. We're going to give Ugeth a chance to close this puppy out. And
Ball 4. Take
he
your base.
walks the first batter.
3.
He strikes out Haney. And Deluche hits into a double play. So we have a victory. So we take 2 out of 3 from Arizona. Again, these are important games where we needed the wins. So, okay. So at the beginning of the episode, we put our friend Hamilton Porter down in AAA. I mean, AA. So we moved him to AA to see if we'd see any growth. So let's go ahead and jump back here. We're going to take a look and see if he's growing at all. Yeah, we're going to pass on that. Let's sort this out. Okay, Hamilton Porter. There's our catcher, number 10. He is down in Double A with the Senators. And let's take a look at what he's done so far. In 11 games, he has 9 hits. He's batting .209, so not the best start for him. But he's got 3 ribbies, 3 walks, and he struck out 10 times. Ouch. Ouch is right. So Hamilton Porter starting to grow down there in just 10 games, but he's only 18 years old, so we got to give him a chance to grow here. Okay, so here's where we are through 12 games in the episode. We are currently 14 and a half games behind the Atlanta Braves. So they are absolutely destroying the American League East. We'll take a look at wild cards and all that stuff at the end of the episode. Let's roll through these next 3 against Florida. We've got Vasquez on the hill. We get the win, so big. These are key games. Again, we need these wins. All right, we definitely need these wins. Game 2, we take a loss, which is awful. Game 3, we get the win. All right, so we get 2 out of 3 from Florida, and we're heading into a series with the Atlanta Braves. Looking at the top right of the screen, you can see their record. They are 51 and 23. And I would guess that we're going to get to see probably Glavine and Maddox in this series. So we get Paul Bird in Game 1. We get Smoltz in Game 2. And then we'll get Greg Maddox in Game 3. So it's going to be a tough series. And we'll be in there for the Sunday game. Hopefully we can get something going. Okay, we take a loss to Atlanta in Game 1. We get a win. Ooh, we got a win against Atlanta. That is absolutely huge for this Expos team. All right, let's see if we can do something in Sunday's game. So we head to our game of the week. And what did I do? No, I don't want to do that. Sometimes my brain's working faster, and I just start hitting all the buttons. Okay. And they keep putting Vlad at the top of the lineup, and I'm not really liking it. So we're going to switch this up. Oh, no, not the positions. I'm going to put Gruzzi in the top of the lineup. We'll see if maybe that heats him up a little bit, because he hasn't been doing a whole lot. Griffey, sorry, Griff, you're going here. We're going to put you... No, Grace has to bat third because he's been good. We'll put Troy O'Leary in second, and we'll see what happens. Try to mix things up a little bit. Sung Hyun Chu has been on the bench for several games. Okay, we'll put you in. Where do you want to go? You want to play in there? Good for you, Sung Hyun. You're gonna bat second in this one.
Play ball.
Okay, so Gruzzi leads off. We've got Chu and Grace, then Guerrero, Griffey, Hayes, Cabrera, Rodriguez, Vasquez. Gruzzi doubles to lead off. So we put him in the top of the lineup, and he says, thank you, coach. Thank you, coach. Sung Hyun is going to bunt him over. So we're going to try to get an early lead. All right, this is a key game. The series is 1-1. If we could win the series against the Braves, that might tell me a whole lot. And we got a single from Grace, so that gives us a 1-0 lead. And Vlad hits into a double play. So small ball to put runs on the board, right? National League Baseball. National League Baseball.
3.
Castillo strikes out. Klesko grounds out, and Jones is going to ground out. Griffey Jr. at the plate. We moved him to the 5th spot in the lineup. He probably wasn't too happy about it, but you got to earn that 4th spot back because you're batting .232. You've got 10 homers and 38 RBIs, but you're batting .232, and he hits a solo jack. So he's trying to earn this puppy back. He's trying to earn his spot back from Vlad. And Charlie Hayes is going to walk. Cabrera singles. So we got first and second on Greg Maddox in the 2nd inning with no outs. And Pudge grounds out. So it's up to Javi Vasquez. And he singles in 2 runs. We are up 4-0 on the Braves. Gruzzi grounds into a double play. All right, so let's continue to hold them off. Javi, you got some runs for yourself. Now pitch a gem. He gets Lopez to ground out. Here's Andrew Jones who singles. Andres Galarraga.
He say.
Stolen. That sounded funny when it came out. Andres Galarraga. There we go. And Andrew Jones stole second because we weren't paying attention.
3.
Galarraga strikes out. Tony Graffanino grounds out. Okay, Sung Hyun Chu for the Expos. pops out. Grace strikes out. Guerrero flies out. Marcus Giles, the batter. And he strikes out. Greg Maddux singles, because of course he does.
He's safe.
And then we try to pick him up. Look at his speed. Greg Maddox's speed is 64. He can't steal bases very well, but he has got some speed, that kid does. Castillo in the fielder's choice. Klesko hits a 2-run jack, and it's 4-2 Expos. So Javi gives up a 2-run bomb to Ryan Klesko. Chipper Jones is going to ground out. Okay, so we're through 3. It's 4-2. This is a big game for us again, right? We need to beat the Braves because they're in the top of our division. Griffey grounds out. Hayes grounds out.
Ball 4.
Cabrera
take your base.
walks. We're going to have him steal.
He's safe.
He makes it. Pudge
Ball 4. Take your
walks. So again, they put the run scoring opportunity in the hands of our boy Javi Vasquez, and he strikes out. And here's the other Javi Lopez. He singles. Andrew Jones grounds into a double play. Thank you, Mr. Jones. A song just popped into my head. All right, Galarraga grounds out. Grudzi triples to lead off for the Expos in the 5th. Sung Hyun Chu. Do we go for the old suicide squeeze? This is a rookie, okay? He had 1 at bat in this game, and we're going to go for the suicide squeeze.
Now pitching for the Braves, number 91.
And it worked. The suicide squeeze from our boy Sung Hyun Chu, and it is 5-2 Expos. Grace is going to ground out, and Vladdy doubles. Ken Griffey Jr. at the plate. Be my hero, and he flies out. Dang. All right, Tony Graffanino is going to ground out. Marcus Giles, the batter, is going to ground out. And Kevin McGlinchey, replaced by Scott Hatteberg, and he grounds out. Scott Hatteberg, I'm pretty sure we saw him in Moneyball. I think he may have been, well, he was portrayed by an actor in Moneyball. I think. I'm not sure, but I think. Okay, Charlie Hayes. Let's see what they call him. Mike Cather is his name, but we're going to call him Mike Calvert in this world. Charlie Hayes grounds out. Cabrera's going to walk.
He's safe.
Then he steals second again.
Ball 4.
Pudge
take your
walks
base.
again, and we put it all on Javi. And he grounds into a double play. Come on, dude. All right, Javi's running out of some juice. So we're going to have to go to a bullpen. We're going to give him one last inning because I do not want to go to our crap bullpen.
Ball 4. Take your base.
He walks Castillo.
3.
He strikes out Klesko. Chipper doubles and drives in a run. Let's walk Javi.
Take your base. Ball 4.
We'll pitch to Andrew Jones, who's already grounded into a double play in this one. And he hits a sack bunt. When would you ever see Andrew Jones sack bunt? Okay, let's pitch around. So we're going to go ahead and walk
Ball 4. Take
Galarraga. We're going to pitch to Graffanino, and we strike him out. Good job. Good job in that inning. Okay, Grudzi
Now pitching for the Braves,
against Adam Butler.
Adam Butler.
Oh, okay, he got Butler right.
Ball 4. Take your
Grudzi walks. Chew. Oh, come on. Chew, you're the best bunter we've ever had, dude. 3 at-bats, you've bunted twice, and now you pop out. Okay,
Take your base.
Grace
Ball
is
4.
going to walk. So we got first and second for Vlad. And he hits into a fielder's choice. Okay, Griffey, this is your chance, baby. You got a chance to put one on the board.
3.
And he strikes out. Grr. Javi Vasquez, you're coming out. We don't want you pitching the 7th. We're going to go to Mike Maddox. Look at his numbers. 4-1, 45 innings pitched, 22 Ks, and a 4.6 ERA coming out of the bullpen. And he's just got to get Giles, a pinch hitter, and Castillo. He gets Giles.
Pinch hitting for the Braves, number 48.
He gets Benitez. Okay, now get Castillo. Good job. That's all we need from you, Maddox. You did your job. All right, Charlie Hayes
Now pitching for the Braves,
against Alan Embry. He was a Padre.
Emery.
I recognize that name. Ground out, Cabrera strikeout, Pudge singles, and continues to hit the ball well. And Mike Maddox, we're going to pinch hit for you. We're going to go with Troy O'Leary. And he hits a 2-run blast. Troy O'Leary makes it 7-3 Expos. Okay, Grudzi
3.
strikes out. So let's take Troy O'Leary off the hill. And we'll bring in Terry Mulholland as our setup man.
Ball 4. Take
He
your
walks
base.
Klesko. He gets a double play against Chipper.
Ball 4. Take your
He
base.
walks Javi. And he gets a fielder's choice against Andrew Jones. Okay, so we're heading to the top of the ninth. We have a chance to win a series against the powerhouse Braves. All right, and we would have picked up maybe a game, one game in the standings. But hey, who cares? We beat the Braves. But don't speak too soon, Mike, because anything can happen. Okay, Sung Hyun Chu, the bunter, is going to get a chance to swing, and he strikes out. Mark Grace grounds out. Vadi singles. Ken Griffey Jr., he's 1 for 4 in this one, and he hits into a fielder's choice. So it's time for our boy, Ugeth, to come out of the bullpen. He gets Galarraga, Graffanino, Giles, the 3 Gs. He strikes out Galarraga.
Take your base. Ball
He
4.
walks Graffanino. That's the one you got to get. You got to get that one. Okay, there's a pickoff attempt, nothing. And he gets Giles into a double play, and oh my God, we just beat the Braves in a series. That's right, we did. We took 2 out of 3 from the Braves in Atlanta. That is huge for the Expos. Now let's hope we can keep the winning ways going against the Florida Marlins here. And we start off the series. Trey Moore is going to be pitching. He's 6-3 against Livan Hernandez, and that was Livan Hernandez, great pitcher, right? And Trey Moore sustained an injury, an inflamed nerve, and it appears he'll be out for a few days. I will keep him active. And we still get the win, though. And he got the win. So he hurt himself, but he was pitched long enough to get the win. And we win 2 in a row. We have won 4 straight. So that's a winning streak for our boys. Now, every time I say that, we lose. Oh, no, they proved me wrong, so we get the win. Can we get a 4-game sweep of the Florida Marlins? Oh, I'm so hesitant to push the button. I don't know if I want to push the button. I don't know if I want to. Oh, of course, we take the loss. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. We relied on the bullpen there in that last game. But we had a nice enough little streak. We are now 6 games over 500. 6 games over 500 with this team. Super excited. Okay, the Mets are crappy in this universe. They're 30-51 to start this series. We're 44-38 coming in. We're playing at home in Montreal. So game 1 is Vasquez. We get the win. Game 2, we've got Trey Moore on the hill. He's coming off that injury, and we're going up against Vaughn Famiglietti. Vaughn Famiglietti. I'm going to assume that that's actually a guy who's created. I don't think that's a real ball player from the 90s. But I've been wrong. I thought Bob Henley was created too. But Vaughn Famiglietti is on the hill for the Mets, and we get the win. We're going to let the machine do our scouting. So we have won. I have to do this in my head, and I'm not the best when it comes to math, as you all know. So we have won 7 of our last 8 games. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Wow, and we're 8 games over 500 currently. I can do that. I don't know why I can do that so easy. And we're heading into a game with the Mets. This is Sunday night baseball. Mets Expos from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Let's see what we can do. And this Mets team actually has some talent. They got some really good players, but we're owning them. We're owning them so far. Okay. Mike Thurman will pitch for the Spos. We're going to leave the lineup the way it is. Preston Wilson leads off for the Mets against Mike Thurman. So we get to see Mike Thurman in this one. We got a fly out. Rich Becker, singles. Fred, the crime dog McGriff, who never played for the Mets, but ended up on that team here. And again, when we're talking about free agency, when I went through free agency and I'm seeing where some of these guys ended up, I mean, the Orioles, the Baltimore Orioles in this upside down universe, they have completely built up their team. They have Randy Johnson. They have Edgar Martinez. They have got some serious players from that Mariners squad from years ago. So They were definitely good. I was a big fan. Actually, I mean, okay. Now they used to they beat up the Yankees in the playoffs one year, but I did like them. I always liked the Mariners, and especially when they came out with like the new hats with the colors. Back then, I was like, that's the only other team hat I ever owned. I did own myself a Mariners hat, which kind of went against everything I believed as a Yankee fan, but I did own a Mariners hat. Okay, Fred McGriff is going to lead off. I'm sorry, lead off. He's batting third. We have one out, and he hits a single. So first and second, Edgardo Alfonso, single. So bases juice for Alberto Castillo, and he singles. So 4 consecutive singles. Mike Thurman is not pitching well. Ray Ordonez, fielder's choice. Ralph Milliard, doubles. It's 4-0, and we are getting absolutely destroyed in this one. Kirby doubles. It's 5-0, and we're going to simulate right through that half inning. Al Leiter on the hill, and we get nothing. Mike Thurman, and he gives up nothing there. So 5 runs in the first. I'm just kind of flying through this one. Cabrera leading off. We get nothing. See how fast? Oh, we got 2 in that inning. Good for the Expos. So it's a 5-2 game. Preston Wilson leading off here. Nothing. We got 1 back. So it's a 5-3 game. Okay, so Thurman, you got to come out. We gave up 4 runs in that inning, you piece of stuff. All right, let's go ahead and Grace flies out. Griffey flies out. Vladdy singles. Hayes singles. So we got a chance to put up a couple runs on the board. Cabrera, fielder's choice. Thurman, you're gone. So when I simulate quickly, it doesn't switch to pitcher. I don't know why it does that. We're going to go with Mike Maddox has been good. So we'll go with him. He gives up no runs. Scott Service is out there. I don't think that's how you spell his name. I'm pretty sure it was like Servivais. But hey, whoever created the roster, they've done a pretty good job so far. Paul LaDuca is out there for us. I don't know why he's even playing. We got nothing there. Nothing in the top of the 7th for the Mets. Nothing in the bottom of the 7th for the Expos. We're down 9-3 in this one. Nothing in the top of the 8th. Nothing in the bottom of the 8th. And we're heading to the top of the 9th. Mike Maddox still out there. And he's pitched good. He's pitched since the 6th. He's given up no runs. And Paul LaDuca is going to lead off for us in the bottom of the 9th. He flies out. We got to get Bobby Hens in. So, yeah, again, I quickly went through this one because I can see the clock, and we're getting close to time here. Henley strikes out. Rondell White grounds out. Okay, so we are now almost we're through the month. We'll simulate this one, and we get a loss to the Brewers. And, so we're into the month of July. Let's see where we finish up. Okay, we got to do some math here, folks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 wins in the month of June. So good job from the team. We are 6 games over 500. Wow. All right. But we're still 12 games back of the Braves. But that's okay. That's okay. We're making some headway. All right. We're not a losing team. We're like the Indians in Major League, right? Just trying to get that win. And there's another 80s movie. Holy Toledo. How did I forget Major League? Wow. Was that 80s or was that early 90s? Nah, I'm pretty sure that was 80s. I mean, I'm kind of old, but I'm pretty sure that was in the 80s. Major League. Holy cow. All right. Anyway, see what happens when I'm playing? So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall standings through 2 months. We're through 2 months of the 3 months of the season, I guess, technically, right? So we've got the Braves holding it down in the National League East. The Expos are 12 games back. So mark that on your calendar. 1st of July, we are 12 games back. All right. Maybe we can make some moves after the All-Star game. In the Central, the Cubbies have a 4-game lead on the Reds. Out west, it's the Giants and Dodgers now tied up. The Padres are 12 and a half games back. So how do you win the division in 1998 and then totally tank in 1999? I don't know, but the Padres are managing to do it. And the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, well, they weren't that good anyway, even though the Diamondbacks, I believe, the next year would hammer the Yankees. Well, they didn't hammer them. They beat them in the World Series, okay? Wild card looks like this as of right now. The Giants, the Dodgers, and how about the Expos holding on to a wild card spot by just a game over the Cincinnati Reds. So we're in at the after June. We're in the play. We would be in the playoffs if it ended right now. We would be in right now, and that's with the worst bullpen probably in the league. Worst bullpen in the league. Out in the American League, the Yankees only have a 2.5 game lead on the Orioles. And as I mentioned earlier in the episode, this Orioles squad is off the chain. Off the chain. They have some players on that team you would not believe. And we saw them in an earlier episode. We played against them in an earlier episode. And they are good. They got Randy Johnson. They got Edgar Martinez. They're crazy. They basically bought the Mariners. We took the biggest piece, and they took what was left over. Out in the Central, the Tigers have a 2.5 game lead on the Twins through the month of June. So that's going to be a battle right there. The Royals, the Indians, and the White Sox have kind of fallen off for sure. And then out west, it's the Rangers with a 2.5 game lead on the Milwaukee Brewers. Wild card looks like this. The Orioles, I think they're pretty much a shoo-in for the playoffs. The Red Sox, so we're going to have 3 American League East teams possibly in the playoffs, and then the Twinners and the Blue Jays, they'll kind of battle with the Brewers for that last spot. I think that's going to happen as we go through the remainder of the season. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current league leaders. That's always fun, especially with these old rosters. We've got Chipper Jones leading the National League in batting average, 341, but only 5 percentage points over our buddy Mark Grace of the Expos. So it's good to see an Expo on the list. Last season, we had absolutely none of that happening for this squad. We take a look in the American League, and it's Jack Kim of the Red Sox, 344. Tim Salmon of the Blue Jays, 332, second place. Let's take a look at homers. Homers are big. We'll take a look at the National League first. Andrew Jones has 20 dingers. Jim Thome and Sammy Sosa are second and third. So that Cubs team is a powerhouse. They got Jim Thome and Sammy Sosa in that lineup. So watch out for the Cubbies for the rest of the year. We take a look at the American League. It's Jose Valentin. No, that probably wouldn't have happened either, but he's got 21 blasts, and then it's just the Yankees powerhouse. Derek Jeter with 20, Tino with 19, and Bernie Williams with 18. That's like back to back to back in that lineup. And my boy, the Iron Man, Cal Ripken, he's got 17. So that's pretty accurate. He could hit him out of the park. I don't know if he did it that often, but he could. RBIs look like this. We've got Sammy Sosa with 71 RBIs as we head into July. So he'll crack 100 easily, probably as we get out of July, the way that he's pacing. Andrew Jones is second. Jim Thome is third. And we take a look at the American League, and it's Derek Jeter, who is the king of this simulation. He's got 63 RBIs. Nomar Garciaparra of the Red Sox with 59 RBIs. And then, of course, Tino with 58 in third place. The other thing I like to look at is stolen bases. That's going to be Shannon Stewart, Chucky Knobloch, and Randy Wynn. Randy Wynn. Cool Randy Wynn story. So I'm at a Clippers game, probably in 2000. And Randy Wynn is the guy taking the half-court shot. And I believe that there's somebody out there in my audience who was at that game with me. Randy Wynn, who played center field for the Rays, took the half-court shot, and I'm almost positive he made it. I'm almost positive he made it. That is a really interesting story, and that guy's name is stuck in my head mainly because of that. Not because he was a baseball player, but because we saw him make a half-court shot at a Clippers game in L.A. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I might be, that might be a fever dream, but I'm pretty sure Randy Wynn hit that half-court shot. In the National League, it's Eric Young, Eddie McMahon, who is a made-up player, and of course Rich Levitt has 17. Let's take a look at some pitching. We look at pitching. Kevin Millwood with 13 wins. Mark Clark of the Cubs with 10. John Smoltz with 9. In the American League, it's David Cone with 10. Randy Johnson, there he is. Look at, he's so tall he doesn't even fit on the damn screen. Randy Johnson with 9, and Andy Pettit with 9. And Hideki Arabu with 9. So he's still with the Yankees in this universe as well. How about K's? K's is always a fun one to look at, and then we'll be done. John Smoltz, 127. Kerry Wood, 122. And, of course, John Lieber of the Pirates with 107. We look at the American League. Pedro Martinez with 154 strikeouts. Wow, how many games has he pitched? He's thrown 18 games. The dude has 154 strikeouts. Somebody get a calculator and figure that out. Randy Johnson with 137. And David Cone with 127. Okay, so that's where we are going to lead it off. When we start episode number, 10? I think it's going to be number 10. But when we get to number 10, we'll roll through the first 2 weeks of the month of July, and then we'll get the All-Star break. So hopefully we get an Expo in the Home Run Derby or possibly in the All-Star game. But what I'm thinking is I might just watch the Home Run Derby, record that separately, and just have like a little off episode so we can actually see what happens there. I can edit that up, cut it up real nice, and then we'll start. We'll kind of skip through all that and get to Boston. So I don't know. We'll figure out how I'm going to do that. But so that's kind of where we'll be as we head into the next episode. And you know what? We're kind of doing this on the fly. So let's just get there. Let's just get there. I've got a couple minutes. So he did make the shot, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you very much, viewer. Thank you very, very much. So that was not a fever dream. I saw this dude make a shot, and I'm pretty sure that my viewer who's answering the question was with me. We used to go to Clipper games because they were uber cheap, and my parents used to buy me passes. They're tickets, Mike. But my parents used to buy me like 6 games. And I go to like 6 games throughout the year. And if you don't know those Clippers, wow, those were some teams, okay? We had Lamar Odom. We had Darius Miles. We had Michael Olowokandi. They were not good teams, but they were fun, definitely fun teams to watch. And I'm probably going to do some sort of grow the Clippers, win a championship kind of thing with NBA 2K because I've been playing that off to the side to kind of get used to that. But thank you for answering that. I was almost positive it was him. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't having some senior moment with the Randy Wynn made shot. Okay, so we're going to sim through these. Then we're going to end at the All-Star break, and then we'll shut this down for the day. We take a loss to Milwaukee. We get a win against Milwaukee. Toronto, a loss. Toronto, a win. And Toronto, a win. Good for you guys. So we're 49-42. We're heading to California for 3 games. And it keeps doing this. I don't really care about this. Win. Oh, we sweep the Angels. We're 52-42. We're 10 games over 500. I was completely down heading into the month. I thought this was going to be terrible. We get a win against the Pirates. A win against the Pirates. Oh, today's the draft. We're gonna simulate it. To hell with it. Just pick somebody good for me. Okay, we'll see what the front office did while I was out winning baseball games, and we lose heading into the All-Star break. All right, so that's where we are. Let's see if there's anybody from our team in the Home Run Derby, and of course not. But Tino Martinez, Jose Valentin, Derek Jeter, Jim Thome, Rich Levitt, Andrew Jones, Manny Ramirez, and Royce Roth will be your a home run derby combatants. So I will run the home run derby separately. I'll record it. I'll have all of my, whatever you want to call it. I sound like data. Whatever you call it. Booty traps. That's what I said. Booty traps. Anyway, so we'll run that back. I'll kind of put that out later on in the week when it's been edited, and then we'll be back here with the Expos next week. So we're heading into the All-Star game. We're heading into the Home Run Derby. And again, that'll be a kind of offshoot episode that'll just be recorded. You can kind of, I'll run some highlights and do some other stuff with that. So we're at the midpoint of the season by Major League Baseball standards. We are 54-43. We sit second place, 12 and a half games behind the Expos, but we're holding down a wild card spot. So now that I have sat here and talked, I want to thank you all for coming in this afternoon. Last night I sat here again. I talked to myself for 2 hours and was wondering why I didn't have at least one person watching. But then I realized that my PlayStation wasn't working correctly. So here we are, end of the episode. Again, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here in the middle of the afternoon. If you feel like watching tonight or you're coming back tonight, I will be back around, we're going to call it dinner time. So I'll probably be back around 6:30. We're doing the Hartford Whalers on their quest for a Stanley Cup championship. I've got to do it one night early because I have a prior engagement tomorrow. So Whaler Wednesday will be more of a 2 for Tuesday as we have the Expos and the Whalers going on in the same day. So feel free to stop in and see that. But most importantly, make sure to like, subscribe, throw any comments down below. Again, we were talking 80s movies, we talked Goonies, we talked Indiana Jones, baseball, anything you want to throw down in the comments, feel free to do so at any time. I will see you later on tonight when we follow our Hartford Whalers on their quest for a Stanley Cup championship. Thanks again. Have a great afternoon.